Don't you just love that new ski feeling? Hey, what's happening everyone? Welcome back to the Empora Ski Cabin. We're going to be moving away from the folding skis of the last episode and back to the regular skis with the new Impulse range from Black Diamond. And just a quick shout out to Black Diamond because I believe that we're the first company in the UK to get our hands on these skis. So yeah, big thanks to Black Diamond for that. So yeah, this is the new Impulse range of skis from Black Diamond. Coming in at 3 different waist widths. We've got a 98, 104 and a 112 millimeter waist widths. So they sort of span that all mountain / free ride category. Obviously, if you go for the 98, you're going to get a slightly lighter ski, better hard snow performance. If you go for the 104, you'll get a good versatility across both hard snow and soft snow. And then the 112 obviously is focused towards more pure free ride or pure soft snow performance. And this new range of skis replaces Black Diamond's old Boundary range of skis. And the Boundary range of skis were good, but they were quite stiff and they had a pretty large turn radius. I think even the 100 millimeter Boundary had a turn radius of around 21 meters. That stiffness combined with the turn radius just made them pretty demanding for everyone but, you know, experts and athletes. So with the Impulse range, Black Diamond have just looked to make these skis that bit more accessible for the everyday skier. And that's not to say that they can't absolutely tear up the free ride terrain. If you look at this Impulse 112, I forgot his name, but I'll flash it up on the screen. One of Black Diamond's athletes are actually skiing in the King and Queens of Corbett's event just, I think, this past week. He actually won it the year before, but he pulled a huge double backflip into Corbett's couloir on the Impulse 112, so they can definitely hold their own in free ride terrain. But otherwise, I'm actually a pretty big fan of Black Diamond just turning down the stiffness dials just a touch and making these skis that bit more accessible. It's great to see brands always making skis, you know, that can perform at the top level for the top experts and athletes. But in the real world, you really want to see skis be able to perform in almost everybody's hands. It's great making a ski for the athletes, but it's no good if 80% of the skiers can't actually ski those skis, and then 80% of the skiers won't get any fun out of those skis. So it's great to see Black Diamond making it a bit more inclusive, so everybody can pick up these skis and have a blast on them. And you can really see this approach when you start to flex the skis. Obviously, this is just a preview, so I haven't skied the skis. Obviously, you can see they're unmounted. I just gave them a quick hand flex just before I started to film this video. And yeah, you can really see the approach. I'd definitely say that they're not a wet noodle, but they're not a Jeremy Heights Pro model. They're just that sort of sweet spot middle ground. I'd try and explain it as like a lively flex. I hope that makes sense. You flex them, you really feel that energy, you really feel that rebound in the skis, but they're not too stiff. The nose is obviously a touch softer because it does have a bit of tapering in the nose, which I'll touch on in a minute. And then throughout the sort of main body of the ski and the tails, it's pretty stiff. It will hold its own in free ride terrain. So yeah, let's get on to the shaping of these skis. And I've got to say they are pretty similar throughout, the 98, 104 and 112 in terms of their shaping, apart from the obvious width differences. I believe the 112 comes in at a radius of 20 meters. And then let's just have a look. We've got 18 meters on the 104, and then the 98 has a turn radius of 17. So that's relatively similar in respect to the width of the skis. But yeah, let's get on to the shaping. Starting with the 104, because that is obviously in the middle of the range. Looking at the tip tapering or the tip shape, you've got a fair bit of tapering put in. The tapering comes back quite deep into the ski, and that obviously keeps the ski nice and loose in the soft stuff. And then looking at the tail, it's a touch less, but there is still a bit of tapering It looks like they've made it a bit less to make sure the tips are up, so maybe this tail will sink into soft snow a bit more. And yeah, like I said, the shaping profile is relatively similar throughout the 98, the 104 and the 112, but obviously the 112 is just that bit wider. In terms of rocker profile, it's pretty subtle actually. There's a bit of early rise obviously in the tip, as we'd expect with a modern day sort of all mountain freeride ski, and then quite a bit of camber underfoot, and then a touch of tail rocker as well. The only difference is obviously with the 112 there's a bit more early rise in the tips and the tails as well, and that's obvious because it's a bit more of a soft snow focused ski. And then onto the actual construction of the ski. It's quite a traditional construction, to be honest. It's what Black Diamond are calling their high performance pre-preg fiberglass layup. So that essentially means that there's 2 laminates of fiberglass that sits on top of a poplar wood core. The first laminate of fiberglass is essentially a full length and full width traditional laminate. And then the second laminate is essentially a weave of fiberglass. I guess that's similar to the Armada Tracer. I think Armada called it their like hybrid tank mesh or something like that. It's just basically a weave or a mesh of fiberglass that keeps the weight a bit lower but adds like stiffness exactly where you need it. And these brands are normally just sort of varying the amount and thickness of the weave towards the tips and the tails. They sort of reduce it towards the tails and the tips to sort of, you know, really cater that flex exactly where it's needed the most. So yeah, like I said, it's pretty traditional, but that's not a bad thing because it does work and it does do a good job. And like I said, flexing these skis, they feel really good. They feel really lively. And Black Diamond have moved their manufacturing process. They used to, I believe, they used to make the skis in the US, but they've moved them to Europe, or they've moved their manufacturing process to Europe, to the Blizzard factory actually in Austria. And obviously that's an extremely well-known factory, well-regarded factory, and we can really see that sort of coming across with their skis. They started with their Helio carbon skis last year. They started to create them in Austria last year, and now that's filtering down to this new range of skis. So onto the sort of little bits and features and stuff. Let's talk about weight, because they are a backcountry specific ski. So starting with the Impulse 98, I believe that comes in at roughly around 1.8 kilograms per ski, depending on the length that you get. And then going up to the Impulse 112, I believe that comes in at just over 2 kilograms per ski. So the range of skis are in that sort of 1.8 to 2 kilograms per ski weight range, and so that's pretty standard, to be honest. Again, comparing it to the Black Rose Actress that is just behind the camera there, that comes in at sort of slap bang 2 kilograms per ski, and it's a great performer across the entire mountain. You could put a hybrid binding on these skis, say the Armada Salomon Atomic Shift or the Markajuke PT16, and they would absolutely tear up the resorts, yet still be able to go a bit further afield. Otherwise, if you are looking to do sort of bigger backcountry days, sort of, you know, over 2,000 vertical meter day trips, then you could put, say, like a Marker Kingpin or a Plume Summit 12 on them, and they'll perform really well on the uphill, yet still have great amounts of downhill performance to shred the down. And then, as we'd expect with a backcountry ski, you've got nice little skin tail clip just there to stop your skin falling off in mid-ski tour, which is pretty standard these days. And then the top sheets are pretty sick. I hope the camera's picking that up well. The Black Diamond rep told me that with Black Diamond moving their factory or their manufacturing to Austria, they've been able to change the way that they print their top sheets. This is essentially a way of digitally printing the top sheets. I don't think it has any performance bonuses or merits or anything like that, but it does just look sick. It's got this like matte black top sheet with glossy finishes on all the additional extras. And yes, it is black. It's a backcountry ski that's black, and some people might not like that because you will get a lot of snow sticking to it, but I mean, I never get a problem with black skis. I think they look sick. I just make sure you sort of scrape away any ice and snow that's sticking on the top sheets. And then, oh yeah, there's also a full sidewall spanning the full length of the ski. I'm always a big fan of ski companies using full sidewalls. Such an easy way for ski brands to cut a bit of weight off on the ski, but I really feel like it hampers the downhill performance of a ski when you use a capped or semi-capped construction. So it's always good to see ski brands using a full sidewall for the full length of the ski. It really adds to that sort of direct power transfer. And that's the same for all three of the skis. They've all got full sidewall in them. So who is the Impulse going to be for? Well, yeah, like I said in the introduction of this video, they're going to be for a wide range of people. Obviously, they span 98 to 112 millimeters. So, you know, just select your waist width depending on where you ski the most or what terrain you like to ski the most. If you're skiing a lot of powder or you're hiking a lot of cliffs and stuff, obviously you want to be on the 112, the Impulse 112. But if you're skiing in Europe, you're skiing sort of more spring or maybe even groomed snow, then you'll want to be on the 98. And then obviously the 104 is a really nice middle ground. It does a bit of everything. And then, like I said before as well, coming in at a weight of around 2 kilograms per ski, they're a bit more sort of downhill focused backcountry freeride ski. So someone who puts a lot of emphasis on the downhill for ski touring, then definitely worth checking out the Impulse range of skis. And yeah, like I said before, check a hybrid binding on these and you'll have an absolute blast in pretty much all conditions. Again, I haven't skied these skis yet. This is just a preview, just a first look. And thanks to Black Diamond for sending us these. Like I said, we are the first company in the UK to get hold of them, so that's really cool. And yeah, if you've got any questions on the skis, then just let me know. Like I said, this is the first time I've got hold of the skis, so I might not be able to answer, but I could at least get in touch with a Black Diamond rep to try and answer the question for you. And yeah, if you're new here, be sure to click that subscribe button below. Otherwise, I'll see you this time next week in the Emporia Ski Cabin. See ya.